At 45, Carlos King has dropped a bombshell that could change everything. The man behind Love and Marriage. Huntsville is no stranger to controversy, but this time, the stakes are far higher than any reality TV drama. Word has it that Carlos didn't just stir the pot, he may have gone straight to the FBI with explosive evidence about LaTisha and Marsau Scott's past. Fans everywhere are in shock. Why now? What exactly did Carlos uncover that forced him to take such a drastic step? Could there really be hidden criminal records that the Scotts have been keeping under wraps all this time? And perhaps the biggest question of all, how will LaTisha and Marsau respond when their secrets are no longer just reality show gossip but matters of federal investigation? One thing's certain, this is no longer just TV drama. This is real life and it could bring everything crashing down. Carlos King is known as the mastermind of reality TV, the producer who knows exactly how to stir emotion, conflict, and unforgettable drama. From Real Housewives to Love and Marriage, Huntsville, he has built a reputation for exposing the truth sometimes even when people don't want it revealed. But in this shocking twist, Carlos may have stepped far beyond TV ratings and entertainment. At 45, he has reportedly crossed the line into real-world consequences, bringing LaTisha and Marsau Scott's names directly into the spotlight of FBI attention. LaTisha and Marsau Scott have long been central figures on Love and Marriage, Huntsville. They've been painted as the power couple, business-minded, family-oriented, and determined to hold their image together even in the face of constant rumors and controversy. But behind the picture-perfect facade, the Scotts have been accused of hiding truths, dodging questions, and playing both sides of the drama. For years, fans have speculated about shady business deals, questionable alliances, and secrets that never made it to the cameras. And now, with Carlos King allegedly uncovering criminal records and turning them over to federal authorities, those whispers may finally be catching up with them. This isn't just reality TV anymore. It's the kind of scandal that could completely change the Scotts' lives, their reputation, and even their future on the show. When the news broke that Carlos King had allegedly provided evidence of LaTisha and Marsau's criminal records to the FBI, the entire fanbase went into overdrive. What was once just gossip threads on social media suddenly became explosive headlines. People couldn't believe that Carlos, the same man who had guided the Scotts through years of messy storylines, would be the one to turn the tables on them in such a public and devastating way. According to insider whispers, Carlos had grown increasingly frustrated with Marsau and LaTisha's refusal to keep it real on camera. Viewers have long accused the Scotts of hiding major parts of their personal lives, giving just enough drama to stay relevant but never exposing the full truth. For Carlos, a producer known for transparency and authenticity, this became a breaking point. Reports claim that Carlos came across damaging documents, alleged past criminal charges, financial discrepancies, and suspicious business dealings that were impossible to ignore. Instead of sweeping it under the rug, Carlos allegedly decided to hand the information over to the FBI, setting off a firestorm that no one saw coming. Fans are divided. Some see Carlos as the hero who finally held the Scotts accountable, while others accuse him of going too far, saying this has crossed from reality TV into people's real lives. Either way, one thing is certain. The Scotts' carefully managed image has been shattered, and their next move could determine everything. For years, fans have whispered that there was always something off about LaTisha and Marsau's perfect image. They were often portrayed as the power couple of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, but behind the smiles, whispers of shady business practices, hidden lawsuits, and even fraudulent dealings followed them like shadows. Digging into the alleged records Carlos King reportedly exposed, shocking details began to surface. Documents tied the Scotts to questionable real estate deals, where money allegedly disappeared without explanation. Rumors also resurfaced about Marsau's construction projects, where clients claimed they were left high and dry after large payments. Fans recalled social media threads that accused Marsau of hiding lawsuits, business failures, and unsettled debt stories that, until now, were brushed off as simple haters talking. But when these allegations suddenly connected to federal attention, it felt different. It wasn't just gossip anymore, it was real. And the biggest question became, how long had the Scotts been hiding these skeletons, and did Carlos King know all along? Even LaTisha, who has always prided herself on being the face of strength and resilience, couldn't dodge the speculation. Some fans said they noticed cracks in her carefully curated image seasons ago, pointing to the times she would avoid answering questions or shut down conversations when pressed too deeply. Marsau, too, has often been accused of deflecting with humor whenever financial or personal controversies were mentioned on the show. Now, with Carlos allegedly putting hard evidence on the table, those skeletons aren't just rumors, they're the ugly truth catching up. And the timing couldn't be worse, because once the FBI's name gets attached to your story, the game changes completely. If there's one thing that takes a reality TV feud from drama to downright life-changing scandal, it's when the FBI gets involved. Unlike caste arguments, shady rumors, or even civil lawsuits, federal investigations operate on an entirely different level. Once the FBI starts sniffing around, it means there's evidence worth looking into and the stakes skyrocket. For LaTisha and Marsau, the whispers of fraud, financial mismanagement, and shady business dealings suddenly feel much heavier. What once might have been dismissed as haters making noise online could now translate into real legal jeopardy. Fans online are already buzzing with speculation. Could the Scotts actually face federal charges? Could prison time be on the table if the investigation goes deep enough? Unlike local disputes or reality TV gossip, the FBI doesn't waste time on drama. They deal with hard facts, financial records, paper trails, and testimonies. If the allegations surrounding the Scotts' business dealings prove true, it could mean charges ranging from tax evasion to wire fraud or worse. Even if they aren't directly guilty, simply being under investigation can destroy reputations, business partnerships, and even friendships within the cast. And perhaps the most chilling part, FBI investigations don't wrap up in a matter of weeks. They can drag on for months, even years, putting Marsau and LaTisha under a microscope the entire time. Every public appearance, every word they say on the show, and every move in their business will now be viewed through the lens of suspicion. What was once just a messy TV storyline has suddenly turned into a real-world nightmare, one that could end not only their careers but potentially their freedom. The moment news of Carlos King exposing LaTisha and Marsau's alleged criminal records to the FBI hit the internet, the love and marriage Huntsville universe erupted. Cast members, fans, and even casual viewers couldn't hold back their reactions. They were as explosive as you'd imagine. For Melody Shari, it was nothing short of vindication. For years, she had hinted at shady dealings and warned others not to trust everything the Scotts said or did. Now, with Carlos confirming that there's enough smoke to involve the FBI, Melody's silence spoke volumes. She didn't have to gloat outright her subtle posts online. A cryptic emoji here, a truth always comes to light comment there, were more than enough to let fans know she felt proven right. On the other side, Kimmi and Maurice seemed caught in an impossible position. As family to the Scotts, their responses were carefully measured. Sources say Kimmi has been unusually quiet, choosing not to fan the flames, while Maurice reportedly defended Marsau behind the scenes, insisting that Carlos was exaggerating for ratings. Yet, even in their silence, fans picked up on the tension. Was this the first major crack in their seemingly unshakable alliance? And then there were the fans. Social media lit up within minutes of the news dropping. Hashtags like hashtag Carlos exposed them, hashtag Scott scandal, and hashtag LAMH shakeup started trending. Some fans flooded timelines with cheers, calling Carlos brave for finally pulling back the curtain and exposing what they believed was years of shady behavior. Others, however, accused Carlos of going to fair, arguing that involving the FBI was a dangerous overreach, and that he was only doing it to create the most shocking storyline possible. The debates grew heated. Team Melody fans celebrated, pointing to this as karma for how LaTisha and Marsau had treated her in past seasons. Meanwhile, supporters of the Scotts rallied online, painting them as victims of Carlos' reality TV machine and warning that this could permanently damage their reputations if no charges stuck. The public is now sharply divided, with one side shouting finally, the truth, and the other side saying Carlos crossed a line. Either way, one thing is clear. Carlos' revelation has changed the dynamic forever. What was once just a show has now spilled over into real-life scandal, with real-life consequences, and everyone is watching. As the scandal exploded across the internet, all eyes turned to LaTisha and Marsau Scott. Surely, with accusations this explosive and the FBI allegedly involved, the Scotts would have to make a move on quickly. But instead of addressing the situation head-on, the couple's initial response was a mix of denial, silence, and deflection. Behind the scenes, sources close to the couple revealed that lawyers were immediately contacted. Statements were being carefully drafted, with every word weighed to avoid fueling the fire further. Publicly, Marsau appeared unbothered, taking to social media with his trademark sarcasm, suggesting that people shouldn't believe everything they see on TV. In one cryptic post, he even hinted that the entire situation was nothing more than overblown editing and haters who want to see us fall. LaTisha, on the other hand, took a more emotional stance. In a live stream, she indirectly addressed the controversy, visibly frustrated but refusing to go into specifics. She claimed that she and Marsau had worked too hard to let jealousy tear down their legacy, suggesting that Carlos King himself might be behind the chaos. Too many fans. It sounded like she was pointing the finger directly at the producer who built Love and Marriage, Huntsville. And yet, the silence on the most important details was deafening. Neither LaTisha nor Marsau offered a direct denial of the FBI involvement or the alleged criminal records. Instead, they leaned into the classic defense we've seen before on reality TV: blame editing, blame the haters, and above all, blame the showrunner. But legal experts weighed in online, warning that once the FBI is in the mix, this isn't just about bad editing or haters on social media. If records exist, if investigations are happening, the Scotts' legal team may need more than PR spin to protect them. Whispers of sealed court documents, hidden lawsuits, and shady financial dealings only intensified speculation by refusing to offer clarity. The Scotts left the door wide open for fans to assume the worst. And if history has shown us anything, it's that silence in the middle of a scandal can sometimes be the loudest response of all. With Carlos King's bombshell shaking the foundation of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, the big question remains: what does this mean for the future of the show? From the very beginning, LAMH was built on marriages, friendships, and business ventures, but scandals like this threaten to overshadow everything else. If the FBI really is involved and criminal records are part of the mix, the show risks shifting from reality TV entertainment into something much darker. And fans are torn: do they want to see it all play out on camera, or is this simply too real? For Carlos King, the stakes couldn't be higher. On one hand, exposing LaTisha and Marsau's alleged secrets positions him as fearless a producer willing to go where others won't. It fuels ratings, drives headlines, and keeps LAMH trending week after week. But on the other hand, critics accuse Carlos of crossing a line, of digging too deep and dragging real legal troubles into the spotlight of reality TV. Some are even calling it exploitation, wondering if Carlos is using the Scotts' downfall for ratings gold. Meanwhile, whispers behind the scenes suggest cast members are growing uneasy. Melody Shari, while appearing vindicated, has allegedly confided that she doesn't want her kids exposed to potential FBI fallout on set. Kimmi and Maurice are said to be questioning whether the show's tone is shifting too far away from family dynamics and into chaos. And Stormy Steele, still building her presence on the show, is reportedly weighing whether the drama is worth her brand's image. Fans, however, are glued to their screens. Social media is on fire with hashtags like #CarlosExposes the Scotts, #LAMH scandal, and #FBI drama. Debates rage online: should the Scotts be cut from the cast until the dust settles? Should Carlos double down and make the investigation a storyline? Or should the show refocus on healing and rebuilding relationships? The fallout doesn't just affect Huntsville. Industry insiders speculate that if the FBI storyline moves forward, it could set a new precedent in reality TV. Never before has a producer been accused of directly involving federal authorities in a cast member's alleged misconduct. If this sticks, it might redefine what reality means in reality television. What's clear is that Love and Marriage, Huntsville, will never be the same again. The scandal has raised the drama to new heights, but at what cost? For the Scotts, the damage may already be done. For Carlos King, the gamble could either cement his legacy or drag the show into dangerous territory as the dust settles in Huntsville. One truth remains: this scandal is bigger than anyone could have imagined. At 45, Carlos King has shown he's not afraid to take risks, even if it means dragging FBI-level drama into the spotlight. LaTisha and Marsau's alleged criminal pasts, the whispers of fraud and shady business, and the shocking possibility of federal charges have flipped the world of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, upside down. But now the ball is in the Scotts' court. Will they come clean? Will they fight back against Carlos? Or will the FBI decide their future for them? For fans, this isn't just entertainment, it's history in the making. The Scotts' empire, their marriage, and their reputation hang in the balance. And one thing is certain: the fallout will be explosive. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think Carlos King went too far exposing LaTisha and Marsau? Or was this the justice fans have been waiting for all along? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we'll be reading every single one. Smash that like button if you think this is the biggest twist in LAMH history, subscribe so you never miss another Huntsville bombshell, and turn on your notifications, because trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next. This story is far from over.